Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Every year when I'm asked how the Indians are going to do, my answer is generally the same. Baseball people will tell you that you need 40 games to see your team play. It's the same old story in a 162-game season or a 60-game season. Put a team out there and they'll find a way to win 50. They'll also find a way to lose 50. That leaves in a regular season around 60 games left to get to the playoffs. Now those 60 games will be just about the entire season. I hate how it got that way, but you know what? It might be a little bit of fun. We've got Bud Shaw here tonight. He's always fun. More Sports and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Tuesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine into its 24th, soon to be 25th consecutive season exclusively here on cleveland.com. Bud Shaw's with us. He's been here, maybe 22 of those 23 years, 24 years, I think, if we count correct. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Les?
Well, I just looked at the clock and it dawned on me we're now 15 minutes away from the time that Devin from Concord will start his pacing back and forth before he calls us.
Well, I was looking at the calendar and seeing July 1st coming. So traditionally, can't wait for April to get here for baseball, and now we got to have the same feeling about July, I guess.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. If you'd like to talk to Bud Shaw, you can do that. And you can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. But I want to throw out a couple of things here with baseball turning the corner into the month of July now, and some 25, 26 days until the opening of the regular season. Can't really call it a regular season, but it is a season nonetheless. So I'm going to throw out some facts and figures here, and you tell me what we can expect or not expect. Can we do that?
Sure.
All right, let's start with this. Will somebody in a 60-game season, oh, by the way, I'm going to use this thing that I haven't sold yet from somebody, but on Friday on 92.3 The Fan will probably do it. So if somebody, I want you to report people to the authorities if somebody uses it before Friday.
Okay.
I want to make
There's an
that
embargo.
perfect.
There's an embargo on this.
Right. All right. So in the season, the 2020 season, will somebody hit 400 or better, which hasn't been done since Ted Williams did it back in 1941?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you look back at some of the great 60-game stretches in baseball, just in the last decade or so, and MLB.com did exactly that. They came across guys that Josh Hamilton, I think, one year hit 420 during a stretch like that, and he's not even the guy that you would put on the top of that list. So,
yeah.
I mean, a guy like Altuve or somebody like that, I think or Lindor or even Jose Ramirez if he gets hot enough. I think there's a possibility there.
Are we going to search out every asterisk in sight and put them on that thing, or will that be an official record to top
No,
Ted Williams?
I don't think anything that comes out of this season will be, first of all, the cumulative stats like home runs, hits, all that are certainly not going to get anywhere near to where we ever remember what happened, But yeah, the the on base percentage, uh, uh, OPS, all of that stuff, the batting average, ERA, those kind of things. I don't think we'll be able to judge those, and I don't think anybody who really cares about baseball in the way that you and I do, Les, as far as the history of the game and all. I just think this season will just be a glitch. We won't even think about it.
Will a power hitter hit 25 homers this year?
Well, again, if you go back and look at that season or those seasons over the last 10 years, as MLB.com did, I think Giancarlo Stanton had 33 during a 60-game stretch back in 2017. So I think somebody, will get close to 30, high 20s.
Will some pitcher have 3 complete games?
That's a tough one. I I think maybe someone will, but I mean, how many wins are you gonna who the league leader in wins, how many will it be? How many starts do you see these guys making? 12,
This
15?
no, that seems like a lot to me this year.
Yeah.
I
If
would
every
think.
fifth game is a 12 start season, um, if somebody wins 8 or 9 of those, it's gonna be an unbelievable season for them, right?
Yeah. Will a regular infielder go with an errorless season?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think that'll happen too. I just think we're going to see things that we never saw before, but we're not going to really value what we see.
And it'll probably be a bad infielder because he can't get to the hard hit balls.
Yeah, exactly. Guy just stands in place and watches balls go past.
All right, here's the big question, I think, out of this group anyway. You get down to 60 games in the season. It's the divisional play. You've got the six divisions, right?
Right.
All right. So when you get to after 55 games and you look at the standings in the wherever you look at your standings these days, will how many of those divisions will have teams five 2 games or less out of first place? In other words,
Oh,
will out of you think all of them will be within 2 games?
I think there's going to be a real glut after these 60 games. I think there's going to be 4 teams in each division, or at least 3 teams in each division that are still in the running for those spots.
Yeah,
In some way,
I didn't even say with as far as the wild card is concerned either.
yeah, and I think you said it in your opening comment that maybe this is going to end up being a lot more fun than we think it is, and I think that's part of the reason why. I mean, this is a real, this is the gun goes off for a race and everybody's sprinting, in a mile race. It's that you better get out to a fast start in this season, and we know in this town for a fact that that has not been the case with Terry Francona's teams,
I'm just
and that's
getting
not a shot at him. It's just
right.
fact.
I'm getting a sense that there might be, and I have no proof behind it, but there might be more walk-off innings, extra innings, or tenth, ninth innings. I think there's going to be more walk-off games than we had in previous years.
Yeah, I don't have a real strong feeling about that one way or the other. I just think you're going to see teams eat. There are going to be teams that get out to quick starts and end up winning 45 or more games. I think that's going to happen. I don't want to say routinely, but you probably know where when the Indians' best 60 game stretch over the last 10 seasons, because we were part of it at Progressive Field on a nightly basis almost when they won 22 in a row. But in 2017, I think 48-12 was their best 60 game stretch since 2000. So it's not going to be easy to repeat that, obviously, but I think there's going to be lots of teams going 40-20 or some semblance of that.
We are obviously talking too much about the Indians. Let's talk about a team that doesn't get enough publicity, the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, the Browns, of course.
Odell Beckham Jr. is committed to Cleveland, according to a tweet that was sent out. Somebody with
There was a
the
be official.
yeah, you can find me in the land, homie. Is there something about me saying homie that takes away credibility or not? You
It
got
seems
unfinished
natural.
business. You can
Yeah.
find me in the land, homie. One if by land,
Well,
two if by sea.
I guess what that means that he's not going to ask for a trade. I really don't believe that they're gonna deal him. I think this is another thing we're going to see this season in the NFL is that nobody knows like how healthy these players are going to be able to stay, and I mean that not from a traditional NFL injury standpoint, but just from a coronavirus standpoint. I mean, we've already seen guys on the PGA Tour test positive. Um, I think DeAndre Jordan announced today that he would not be playing this season in the NBA because he tested positive. I think we're going to see some NFL. It's naive to think we're not going to see NFL players test positive and have to step away from the game.
And
So if I'm a
Some have opted out already, as you
yeah,
suggested.
and if I'm a general manager, I'm not in any hurry to trade, talent. If suddenly 2 weeks into it, I'm going to have a couple wide receivers, for instance, test positive and have to step away from the team. What do you
216
do then if you've traded, Odell Beckham Jr. away?
216-575-0403. Email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Tomorrow night, Doug Maurice will join us, and on Thursday it'll be Mary Kay Cabot. Did you know the Ohio Lottery has paid out over $1 billion in winnings over the last 6 months? People are winning in record numbers, and winning is happening all around the state of Ohio. Play the Ohio Lottery game and play it today. We have a Facebook place where you can go and respond to questions, facebook.com. More Sports and Less Levine. New content is posted every day. It's real easy. We post a question in the morning. You respond to it all day long, and then we talk about it sometime during the show. It is the Facebook question of the day. 216-575-0403 is our number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. Browns finally have an identity, according to Josh Edwards of CBSSports.com. We'll find out what he's talking about when we get back. More Sports and Less Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Maurice, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Let's check out the birthdays for this day, the 30th of June. Tie game, which means you put a runner on second base in the old traditional way of playing baseball. Tony Fernandez, former Indian, 1962. Mitch Richmond was born on this day. So is Mike Tyson. Pretty good day for birthdays. The gold medal guy, Michael Phelps, and Jesus Aguilar, also celebrating birthdays on June 30th. 216-575-0403 is the number. Bud Shaw is with us. Doug Maurice tomorrow night. Mary Kay Cabot will be here on Thursday. Well, the Browns, according to CBSSports.com, Bud, now have an identity. They've had identities before, but you just didn't want them. That winless season, that was an identity.
That was an identity, yeah.
How'd that go?
Hapless was an identity of a number of seasons, but that one in particular.
All right, well, we're at the point of the season or preseason where national guys have, women and men, have decided where certain teams are going to be, this way, in the middle, and now the deciding votes come in to see what they're really going to happen. It's the low-hanging fruit part of the schedule. And Josh Edwards of CBSSports.com says Cleveland spent a lot of money on right tackle Jack Conklin and tight end Austin Hooper. Some analysts will take issue with their strategy to spend money on a less appreciated position. However, it shows they have an identity. The Browns are going to set up the pass through the run game. The fullback position was introduced in the form of a trade for Andy Janovich, and by the time the draft arrived, general manager Andrew Berry had filled every role except left tackle and would be focusing on the best talent with each selection. Cleveland was able to end their play. We'll see if the team is in position to end their playoff drought, which dates all the way back to 2002. Well, that's a simple question. What have they done besides get a new coach, which is certainly a plus? But what have they done? Have they done the right things in the positions that needed to be filled?
Well, I think they certainly improved their offensive line, and I think we look at what happened last year with that offensive line and with Baker Mayfield, and I wouldn't want to attribute all of his problems to the line or to the coach. I think some of it falls on his shoulders, but I do think that offensive line was subpar, and I think that was a critical improvement over the offseason. So
you wouldn't say they're subpar now.
What's that?
You wouldn't say that that offensive line is subpar now.
No, and we know they're young at left tackle. Would you have preferred a veteran Pro Bowler at that position? Sure, but we know from Joe Thomas's career here, as good as he was, you better have other pieces around a quarterback, or that's not going to be the answer. So I like what they've done. I think they've put money into to an offensive line and to a position at tight end where they needed improvement. It's one thing to say, well, Njoku's talented and I would bring him back too based on his talent, but you also can't live and die with his drops and with his injuries and that kind of thing. So it's Austin Hooper, I thought, was a big critical pickup for them.
It also appears they've not done anything with the linebacking position, shoring that up. And the question is that all by design from the beginning, or the fact they were able to find some players that might help another group out on the field, or they don't believe in the linebacker being Ray Nitschke anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think those of us who grew up with linebackers being maybe the best player on the defense in many cases, and I'm thinking in terms of not just Butkus and Nitschke and those guys from way back, but guys like Lawrence Taylor. I think we have to realize that in this era of NFL football, that a lot of GMs and a lot of teams do not see it that way. They're good. They need good players there, but they're certainly have decided that pass rusher and cornerback and in some cases a safety that they can play anywhere on the field have become more important than the linebackers.
Yeah. Where does Jadeveon Clowney wind up as far as the Browns are concerned?
Yeah, I just don't think he signs with them, Les. I think that would have happened already if it was going to happen. I think they have interest, but certainly he believes that he can command more money somewhere else or more years. And if I were them, I would not commit more years to him. He's not the kind of player that I think they at least
are they done? Are they done now? Are the Browns done with the wheeling and dealing?
Yeah, I mean, I think in large part they are. Yeah, I can't see them making another big deal. I mean, they've got a good backup quarterback that they feel comfortable starting if need be. If Baker Mayfield doesn't show what we thought we saw from him at the end of his rookie year, certainly they're fine at running back and wide receiver and now offensive line, and I think tight end falls into that same category. And defensively, we've talked about this before. I still think Olivier Vernon can be a big plus for them this year. So it's not like they're bereft at the other end spot and they need Clowney so badly that they should make any kind of deal they can to get him.
Isn't that funny, Vernon? We all thought 2 months ago there's no way he's making this team, and it's still may be the case, but he's hung on there a lot longer than most people thought.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I think the stat I saw was that he missed like 2 games his first 5 seasons in the league. and suddenly over the last 3 seasons now he's missed several games. So they're smart to not rely on him starting 16 games if in fact that's what we end up with this year.
East, West, and South, that's where you're going to find northeastfactorydirect.com. You'll also find them on the internet. You don't want to miss that website. West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia, and northeastfactorydirect.com. Lowest price guaranteed at NEFLD. Or C. No, or D. There you go. I had it right the first time. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Celebrate NatureStone's 30-year anniversary with a free NatureStone floor. During 2020, we will be giving away 30 free floors to 30 very lucky customers to say thank you for making NatureStone the best concrete flooring solution for garages, basements, and more. Call or visit naturestone.com today to register to win, and we'll send you a copy of our new buyer's guide absolutely free. There's no purchase necessary. Winners will be chosen monthly. With over 30 million square feet installed for more than 60,000 customers, it's easy to see why I always say it's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a How Come Quickie. Hey, Bud, how come I didn't hear from Cavs fans who were excited that the Cavs have signed Wade and Jordan? Oh, is that a different Wade and a different Jordan?
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I saw those names. Missed it by that much.
By the way, did you see the LeBron James thing the other night?
I did not. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to see it yet. What did you think?
I think you saved an hour of your life. I don't know. That's so wide open for revisionist history. However, I will give ESPN credit. It wasn't complimentary to ESPN. Certainly wasn't complimentary to LeBron.
Yeah, I saw someone.
But he changed the genre.
I saw someone make the point that, and I can't remember who it was on Twitter, that you couldn't have had the championship without the decision. Do you buy that?
Oh, if he stayed in Cleveland? They said if he stayed in Cleveland, they wouldn't have won in the next 5-6 years.
I think that the feeling was that that team was just not built to win at that point. That it would have taken them, they wouldn't have bottomed out, but they also wouldn't have won, and they wouldn't have come away with, Kyrie probably, right?
Yeah, right.
And Tristan Thompson and those guys, those top 5 picks that helped turn the season around when he did come back, turn the franchise around when he came back.
Speaking about that, J.R. Smith signed with the Lakers today. I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't. I'm intrigued to see how that's going to go. Anytime JR gets back on the court, I'll watch that.
You'll have something set up where somebody will call you if he goes to the scorer's table. I don't blame you. All right, let me finish up here on the Browns, and we'll come back with the Indians. Pro Football Focus lists Kareem Hunt and Jarvis Landry as the 2 players who will be productive consistently on a week-to-week basis. Number one, do you agree with that?
I do. I think, listen, if you're going to go into defensive game planning against that team this year, you're going to do whatever you can, and you're not going to take them away, but you're going to do everything you can to limit Nick Chubb and Odell Beckham. There's just too much talent on this offense. And the fact that Kareem Hunt can be used in the passing game, I think is a really big plus. And that receiver core, if he is used properly, is going to be almost indefensible.
Well,
And Landry,
one of the
we
two.
know.
Go ahead.
No, we know what Landry does. I mean, Landry is that guy on big third downs and in other passing situations when Baker Mayfield is flushed from the pocket. Landry is the guy who he feels comfortable finding him on the field, knows where he's going to be.
Well,
So I agree with that. I think they're both going to have terrific seasons.
Pro Football Focus says Hunt joined the Browns offense after his 8-game suspension in 2019 and immediately became part of the offense. This offense has an opportunity for a pass-catching back. It catered nicely to Dalvin Cook last year under Stefanski. Nick Chubb will take a considerable amount of the early down work, but that won't stop Hunt from seeing 10-plus touches per game. Most of this volume will be in the form of targets, a valuable fantasy opportunity. Well, forget fantasy. If he gets 10 targets, I don't know how they stop that team.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's even better than we thought he was as a receiving as a pass catching back when he got here.
All right, let's talk about another consistent producer. That's Jarvis Landry. Last season, he had 83 receptions, 1,174 yards, 6 touchdowns. He had more than 50 yards receiving in 12 of his 15 games, 14.1 yards of reception. That's a career high, as was 73.4 yards per game. That is a career high. I'll tell you what, if he repeats that, they're going to score a lot of runs and points.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he was a guy that when they signed him to the contract, you thought that's too much money. He's not a number one guy, but he doesn't have to be now, and he's very good at finding spots in the defense and coming up with big catches. I mean, how many times have you seen him drop a pass in a big situation? It just doesn't happen.
All right, 216-575-0403 if you'd like to get in. You could explore your interests and find a program that puts you on a path to a bright future with Tri-C, offering 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. We'll come back. We're going to give you more information about what ESPN's Brad Doolittle thinks about the Cleveland Indians right here exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Well, hello, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Browns Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get text sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. it takes the dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
Pretty good pitching day here on June 20th, June 30th rather, throughout his sports history. In 1908, Cy Young tossed his third no-hitter. I don't think he won the Cy Young Award that year. 1948, Bob Lemon didn't win the Cy Young Award either, or the Bob Lemon Award, but he did no-hit the Tigers for the Indians by a score of 2-0. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Projecting the Indian season in 2020, we check in on what Brad Doolittle of ESPN had to say, and he says the Indians will hang in the thick of the playoff race, mostly thanks to their top-tier pitching rotation. Remember, that's without Corey Kluber. Getting that group ramped up to a regular workload as soon as possible will be the key early season project for Terry Francona. His offense, however, looks like one with a lot of redundant skill sets, and beyond the all-around excellence of Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez. Good power, good walks, and low batting average. You know, when you look at the roster, and I don't know they don't know who's going to be starting in the outfield. I think he's right. There's redundant talent out there, but there seems to be high side on just about everybody, but maybe Delino DeShields.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that assessment, by the way. It is hard to believe that the rotation is as strong as it is with Kluber and without Trevor Bauer. But I think that, that's the key to the season. How quickly can those guys start giving you quality starts? We know this has been an unusual preseason, obviously. We can't even call it a preseason. So that, to me, is the question. I think offensively, some really good run producers if Ramirez is the guy that we think he is, and Lindor. But beyond that, it's the same question, Les. You look at the outfield and you think, well, maybe this is the year that Bradley Zimmer shows why they were excited about him at one point. There's still just a lot of questions. Mercado makes you feel a little better about the outfield, but it's still not a great outfield.
No, but I look at the infield, and when you think about it, that infield, offensively and defensively together, might be one of the top 3 or 4 infields in baseball.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, the team that pitches well, and I mean, it's so corny and trite, but the team that pitches well and doesn't give away runs in such a short season, you would think that those ingredients would even be more valuable.
Yeah, and the other thing, what you don't hear that much about, except here on this show, because I think I'm the only one that agrees with this, and that is, I'm agreeing with myself, in other words. You look at the opposition that they're going to be playing, because they're going to play Central Division in the American League, and then not as many against the National League, but still staying within that framework. And it just seems to me that unless Chicago is better than I think they're going to be, and I think they're going to be good in a couple of years, but right now, Chicago and Minnesota, along with Kansas City and Detroit, and then not having to play the Yankees, the Astros, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, I think, if you talk about it being a weak schedule, and I don't know that it is, but it's based on their opposition from the National League, not have to play the big boys from that side.
Yeah, and I mean, we look at the NFL and we say the organizations that have had veteran coaching staffs who've been together for a few years should have an advantage with all the upheaval that this virus has brought to preparation for the season. I think when you look at baseball, you can say that the teams that are a little more veteran may have a advantage too. And a team like the White Sox, I think, with so many young players, they were projected already as, maybe they'll be better than their experience level suggests. But I think losing spring training hurts them a little bit more than it does some of the other teams.
I think baseball traditionalists will tell you year in and year out, the players are probably within 10% of what their average is on a year-to-year basis. I don't think it's going to be that way based on what we talked about in the first segment. But you also, I don't think there's any way you can predict who's going to be. I mean, you can make up the obvious names here, who's going to have the most home runs, RBIs, wins, and all that stuff. But there's nothing to show for this. There's nothing to say, well, in such and such year, this is what happened. This is a total different ballgame.
Yeah, and I think what Francona was talking about the other day is really it's really key. Is that how are these guys going to react to this? You know, are they going to show up on July 24th, and is he going to be able to convince them that, you know, this is basically the stretch run? This is, you know, this is September 1 or August 1st, and let's get ready to finish out a season and get a playoff. Are they going to come out and look around the ballpark and not see fans and get into a bad slump and not, you know, and just sort of wallow in it? I mean, it's who knows? I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a plan for getting these guys excited about such an odd season. But not every team is going to react well to this, and some will play below their talent, almost certainly.
Yeah, let me see your reaction or hear your reaction to some of these things. The broadcast teams will be at their own park, right? Even if they're playing in Chicago. If the Indians are playing in Chicago, Matt Underwood and Jensen Lewis and Al Pawlowski, that whole group, they're going to still be in Cleveland. I think Hamilton and I think Tom Hamilton will be there, right? And Rosie, I think they're going to be there, even though it's an away game.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to, you know, I ran into Doug Deacon recently and just had a quick conversation with him about, and he still seemed a little bit up in the air about how it was going to work in football. You know, are they going to send are they going to send everybody on the road to, you know, broadcast and all to these games? I assume they will.
Yeah, what I heard today also, as far as press credentials for baseball, Indians are only issuing 35. Now that may sound like a lot to people who've never covered a baseball game, but that's nothing. You're talking about away teams coming in. You're talking about, you know, the different websites and all that stuff. That's not a big number.
This may be a player's dream season in one sense. They don't have they're probably not going to have the media in the locker room this year, right? So guys that were bothered by having to answer questions at their lockers right after games or felt like the media was an intrusion, I would assume that that's not going to happen. That we're probably going to see them more in press conference situations with everybody, you know, socially distanced.
Well, based on history, I would assume that Devin from Concord is making his way from the couch to the telephone, and he's dialing right now 216-575-0403. That is the number to call. Northeast Factory Direct, East, West, and South. They've got them. Lowest price guaranteed. Check it out. Alex has been doing it, and he's been doing it great for the last 20 years. Sokolowski's University in 20 years, that's nothing to them. 95 years. It's unbelievable. Maybe even more. 97 years. The only one in Cleveland to get the James Beard Foundation Award. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski, University Inn. We'll come back in a moment. We'll check out our Facebook question of the day and more. More Sports and Less Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your basement is the go-to part of your home. It's your children's rec room. It's where your family and friends spend time together. It's much more than just a basement. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone basement floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive mini pearl stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Let's take a look at this date from Les Levine history, June 30th, 2010. It's today. Les thinks Bob Feller's opening day no-hitter streak is going to be safe. Nobody's going to be throwing 9 innings in July. I think I would take the over on that. Actually,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can picture Bob sitting up in the press box watching the opener and silently
bring on Randy Johnson. I don't care.
silently celebrating when the day ended without another no-hitter thrown.
Right, exactly. He was like the Miami Dolphins and the losing game as soon as everybody lost the game. Facebook question of the day: what's your prediction for the Indians' 2020 regular season record? You want to do it now, or you want to wait till the end, Bud?
I'll wait till the end.
Okay. Ted Moon, great question. If relatively COVID-19 is ineffective, our tribe looks pretty good both defensively and offensively. My prediction: 39-21, winning the division. That said, I'm not so sure that the coronavirus won't wreak havoc on the season. I'm praying for positive results. No, you want negative, to be honest with you. Andy Mees, 45-15 in an abbreviated regular schedule, which will be required to be managed like a postseason in order to qualify for October. Tito has much experience as any skipper in baseball. Francona won't be a patient man with the guys at the beginning of the season. He usually is at the start of the 162-game schedule, but I like our chances in the shortened season with Tito running the ship. Glenn Berger, 35-25. I'm concerned about playing 20 games against the NL Central, although some very good teams are in that division. Let's play ball. Dennis Davis, Indians will be 38-22 and will finish third behind the White Sox and the Twins. Brandon Buckley says, I still will have the White Sox number 1 in the AL Central. They made some moves to get better, adding a couple of new players during the offseason. They have a young team, an upcoming team. I think that the Twins and the Indians will battle for second place in the AL Central. Glenn Gold says 40-20. I think our chances are good with the starting rotation or pitching. It won't take as much time for those hitters to develop when they start in April temperatures, which are already warm at that point. Robert Moore, 41-19. No virtual Yankee fans to worry about. Gerard Morelli they won't finish this season because of COVID. Wow, very nice. And Kevin Piles, it's anybody's guess, but who really cares in the long run? Baseball has soured their main fan base, both players and owners. They are making a mockery of the game with the rule changes and the ridiculous 60-game rearranged playing schedule. It's a black eye for MLB, one that they may never recover from, ever, for years. Anyway, that's almost forever. I mean, from watching sports and being a semi-sports psychologist, I think we're all ticked off, and in about a month, we'll all forget about it.
Yeah, I don't think people will hold the abbreviated season against against Major League Baseball and players, because I think people understand that it was going to be abbreviated in some form or fashion.
And they wouldn't have got it totally right.
Yeah, and so, but I understand the sentiment there. I just think that past history tells me that when these players get back on the field and start doing, tremendous things and making great catches and hitting game-winning homers and striking out the sides and everything that they've done that has kept people entertained through all of the other labor issues that this sport has faced. I think most people will come back and say, okay, this was a truncated season. We don't really, we're going to hang an asterisk on whoever won. But by next year, if there's a collective bargaining agreement, everybody will be back on board.
All right, use your imagination here. What do you think? I should have given you some time to do this. What do you think will be the weirdest thing? I think a guy hitting not necessarily a walk-off, but a grand slam home run in his home park and nobody there to cheer for it. And I'm also wondering, if like John Adams is going to be allowed to be there with his drum and things like that, and all other cities have things like that.
Yeah, no, I think, I'm a golf fanatic, Les, and I think golf is that one sport where I watch it and it doesn't bother me at all that there aren't people in the gallery. I don't even, it's second nature to me now, just after watching 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think anything remotely like that will be the case with baseball.
Well, do you think that
Um,
the golf thing would be changed if you had Tiger or Mickelson all the time?
what do you mean?
Well, you say there's that nobody in the galleries and it's quiet. It wouldn't be as if you had Mickelson and Tiger, you'd have some kind of
Yeah,
some.
I mean, I'm enjoying the competition is what I'm
Oh,
saying
okay,
without seeing fan reaction to great shots.
right.
The shots still mean a lot to me. But I think your point about baseball, I've already had some Indians fans say to me, "Oh, I'm convinced that this is the year the Indians will win it all with Lindor hitting a game-winning homer in a World Series and nobody in the stands." I mean, that I think the nobody in the stands in baseball is going to be a huge thing, as it will be with football if that comes to that. But I think uh, there are
Ask
certain sports that you can live without that, but baseball to me is not one of them. It's going to be very, very odd.
ask him when Lindor hits that home run to beat whoever. Will he accept it as something pretty good in Cleveland Indian history?
Yeah, that's a good question, especially if in the post game he announces that he's going to become a free agent and go play for the Yankees.
Right. He's going to have a 2-minute press conference to go over his career in Cleveland, then bring on the media from New York.
Yeah, but the point, like, I think some of the greatest moments that I've been lucky to be a part of in this town were in the '90s in the playoffs, and whether it was at Jacobs Field or on the road in Yankee Stadium or in Seattle when Lofton scored from second. I mean, a lot of that was not being able to hear yourself talk, think, or anything else because of the fan reaction to what happened. The Rajai Davis homer, those kinds of things are really going to be, you know, the absence of those things are really going to strike home when these guys start playing big games. If there isn't someone in the stands.
Well, you can follow us all day long. We do the show live from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Then if you can't get us at that time, you pick up the phone and call the voicemail of Truth and Reason, 216-200-6650. Call anytime and leave us a message. We're going to come back to wrap this up. We haven't heard from Devin in concert. I hope he's okay. More sports and less Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your garage is the entrance to your home. It's where your kids come in from school. It's where your family and friends gather together. It's much more than just a garage. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone garage floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive gray brown blend stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Doug Lesmaurice will be here from cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. He'll be here from 6 until 7. That'll be tomorrow night. Mary Kay Cabot will join us, and that will be on Wednesday. Then Dave Bacon will have his Weekend Winners show starting at 6 o'clock, and that'll be on Friday. Bud, do you have Sharpie with you, and in case you happen to need one, if we have a breakout in Quickies?
Yeah, I have my scoring system right here.
Oh, okay. Because we got some quickies.
Is that
And
what you have? Is that what you have?
I think that this actually is a pretty good batch. It's nothing sensational, nothing horrible.
Okay.
It's up there though. We start with Big Ed. How come when I was a little boy laying in a twin bed, I wondered where my brother was? Five point oh. I
Yeah,
didn't
and
see
listen,
the point for a minute. I thought you were giving him 50.
I'm sorry, but I always start out with
Yeah.
a lower grade. I need to leave room for the really outstanding
Well, it
ones.
could be this one. Big Ed writes in with another one. How come
Oh, yes.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy, but it's important to remember that apparently by elimination, dishonesty is the second best policy. Don't tell me you
Okay.
heard that recently and Ed stole it.
No, but come on, Les. They're called quickies for a reason.
Oh, that. Mr. Gullible, ready for this one? How come a group of termites marched into a saloon and asked, "Is the bartender here?"
Okay.
See, it's termites. They eat wood.
Yeah, I'm a little mixed on this because it's kind of punny, but it's also something that I didn't see coming. So I'm going to give it a 7.
7.0.
Yeah.
He's got another one here. How come when my girlfriend's dad said he wanted her home by midnight, I said, "You already own her home"? You want me to repeat that? Let me just repeat it, okay? Let's pretend you didn't hear that before you
Okay,
wrote
go ahead.
5.0.
All right.
How come my girlfriend's dad said he wanted her home by midnight, and I said, "You already own her home"? It's a little better the second time.
No, it's
Maybe not. John Patrick. Hey, Les. They should be called Hey Les's. What do you think?
Yeah. I think you need to drop your name as often as possible.
Hi, Les. How come an irrational fear of giants is not called phobia?
All right.
Now, which chance are we talking about? Willie Mays, Willie McCovey,
Yeah.
Ron
All right.
Rosenthal?
I didn't mind that one.
I got to tell you something. You might have just came up with the greatest line in history, and I couldn't hear it.
What's that?
I hope it wasn't a great line because I didn't hear it.
What I just
You'll
said?
be back next Tuesday. Is that correct?
I will. And I want to. Do I have time to call attention to one thing, Les? Maybe not.
What?
This month is the 50th anniversary of Ball 4, one of my favorite baseball books. I don't know
Jim
if
Bouton
you.
just died a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, it's 50th anniversary
That
this
was
month.
when you read it again, it was so tame compared to the way it came out.
No, that's why I hesitate to tell people, oh, go read it, because they'll read it now and think, what was that? But at the time, as you know, it was like risque.
Mike Hegan was a star of that book.
Yeah, the baseball players went out.
We got to go. Thanks to Bud Shaw, who's terrific all the time. We appreciate that. Doug Lane Maurice tomorrow night, and Mary Kay Cabot. That'll be on Thursday. Then Dave Bacon's Weekend Winners coming up on Friday. Of all the shows I've ever done, this is the most recent.